Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rule Thirds. We're not doing an opening. We're trying that out. Now that Larry's gone, the coup has begun.
Yeah.
Evil laugh time. Waha. Here we are, and this is exciting. It's probably the only time the podcast is recorded by two people who are in the same room. So all the hosts are in the same place.
Yeah, this is probably one of the few times this will happen.
Yeah, ever.
Like all the hosts in the one place. So if you don't know, Larry's gone for the month. He's going to be completely gone throughout the month of August, and that's cool because we have just so much good stuff to talk about. So it's good that he's got. I don't know, but
yes, it's going to be probably fine.
Yeah, Larry. Shout out to Larry wherever he is out there in the world. Thank you for I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, where are you going with this?
I don't
Max,
know.
you know what? I'm going to step in as host and say you were going nowhere.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone again. Rule Thirds. Today we are reviewing Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And this is going to be a really fast episode because we're recording this super early. We just came out of Mission Impossible a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Oops.
By the way, my name is Max and his name is Sean.
Yes, my name is Sean. His name is Max. And we're here to review Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Just kidding. We're going to be doing a community segment now. We have two comments from Whitley and Seth. Whitley says that we guessed right on Ant-Man. Thought it was okay. 7 out of 10. Didn't think it's great, but he says, and this upsets me, but I'll read it anyway. He liked it more than Age of Ultron simply because it didn't feel like a constant commercial for future Marvel movies, and I think that's
that's such a lame. That's not what it is. I'm sorry. There is some advertisement for future Avengers movies, or for future movies in the Marvel Studios canon, but that's not what it is.
I feel like also like that's such a terrible way to look at it. This is a new type of movie series. We've never had this type of movie series around. You know, it's very unique.
It's all a bunch of commercials.
Again, this is like this. That's why I like Age of Ultron so much. It embraced it. It embraced that it's part of this massive universe and it can do all these big things and it can hint towards
here's
things.
What I'll say. I think if it was a commercial, Ultron wouldn't have died and he would have come back later. That's what would have made it like a commercial for future, like a full blown one. This one, yes, the whole Thor thing, yes, but not to dwindle too much on this, but it feels a much more like not a commercial to me.
And honestly, it was like Avengers almost felt like a commercial for all the previous films sometimes.
This is true. This is true.
Like, hey, go check out Thor if you want to know what the crap's going on with that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he said as for Pixels, he'll probably skip it. So that's not really
I don't blame
a surprise.
you.
Yeah, no, please do. Please skip.
I've had since we're not going to talk about this during the podcast. I've been telling people that, and they've been like, "Oh, really?" Like, I saw Pixels. Oh, how was that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my condolences.
Yeah, you get the pity. Yeah, and then he says, Sandler movies looking back. It's neither clever nor funny, just weird and uncomfortable, and not in an interesting way either, which is why Movie Bob's explosive rant was kind of weird. That's what I was kind of getting at, because I don't think Adam Sandler is angrily bad. He's just, it's just bad.
And it's not even him. Like, people keep saying it's Adam Sandler's Pixels. No, he doesn't get to be pushed into, like,
But
the
why
spotlight
is it that all the movies he's in are like this? They're all bad for, like, the same reasons.
Happy Madison, most likely.
Yeah, and that's his company, so...
But it's not Adam Sandler. It's Happy Madison's Pixels is bad.
Okay,
it's not
fine.
Adam Sandler's Pixels. Like, listen, Kevin James is almost as bad.
but Paul Blart blah, it's hard to say. Paul Blart Mall Cop. There it is.
Yeah.
A classic of comedy cinema.
Has
anyway,
made another movie like that into a classic.
Yes. Seth Campbell, our good friend Seth, also commented, saying the fact that studios are blaming IPs for the poor reviews shows that they don't know the meaning of bad movie. And I did actually see that. Like, some people were saying, oh, it didn't do well at box office because nobody knew these 80s characters.
What?
And all that. Like, no. This movie did badly because
know Pac-Man.
no one knew it wasn't going to be good, and then was confirmed by word of mouth and online reviews. That's why people didn't go.
People know Pac-Man more than Mario. In some cases. So, no, it's not because of the lack of 80s, whatever. No.
Right.
That was the golden age. That was the age where everybody knew video games.
Right, and that's what Seth's saying. Like, no, that's not it. So we agree with you, Seth. That's not it. He said he's never played an arcade game or even an arcade-style game at all to think about it.
Seth,
come on.
You're sitting, leave that room.
Hey, if you're upset after that, wait till this next line.
Boy.
I probably see less than 5 movies in a year.
Oh, that's sad.
Right?
wish you would see more movies.
I read that and was like, wow, I can't even imagine.
Now. Scrounge up as much money as you can. Go to your local dollar
or just
theater.
online. Just watch them online. Unless you do mean like go to physically in a movie theater 5 movies.
I'm sure that's what he means. He doesn't see like I only watch 5 movies. That makes no sense. How would you even pull that off?
That would make me way more sad.
I would like. I want to see somebody pull off watching no movies for a full year. I want to see that happen.
And well, I would never do it. So find someone else.
Well, yeah, I'm never going to do it. I just want to see that happen.
And that's it. That's the community segment. And community segment. Back to you, Sean. We're going to review this movie, and we're going to do thesis statements and scores before we get into any spoilers, so you can stick around if you haven't seen the movie. And here are general thoughts, worry-free. So let's get right to that. Max, I'm very curious, and host never goes first. And I'm also curious what you thought, because I saw it with you, but we didn't, we tried not to emote feelings of the film after on our way back and all that, and so I'm a little unsure, so tell me.
Yeah. You know what? I was really impressed. I was really impressed with what Mission Impossible Rogue Nation had to offer. I enjoyed it. It's problematic, but it also has a very deep respect for the action genre and what makes it so enjoyable. And though it has its screenplay issues, I'm willing to look past that because I really enjoyed it. It feels very old-fashioned in the best way, very classical of kind of like a movie that feels very 80s without being dated, which is why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, this seems like familiar territory to me. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is fine. It's Ant-Man again. I did enjoy this film, and there were some funny moments. There were some great action beats. But the whole thing felt, I don't know, I just didn't really care. While it definitely kept me guessing on how they're going to get out of this or how they're going to pull this off, I wasn't emotionally invested in those questions. It just felt a little flat, and it just didn't wow me in any respect. And Ghost Protocol did, so I'm not above being wowed by this series. It's worth your time, and it's fun. I'm not negative towards it, but on a whole, it was just kind of, I saw it, good popcorn, summer movie fare, not much beyond that, nothing bad. Again, I'm kind of in the middle, neutral / positive, so it's kind of hard to have any grand artistic, statements about the film. But regardless, I'm going to be giving it a 6.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it did not. I'm very curious what you think about the whole respect of action and all that.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we'll get there. So actually, I'm going to spring this on you, Max. I don't think the spoiler section should be the majority of the podcast. So let's talk about what we can without spoilers.
Okay, yeah,
and then we'll do spoilers. So everyone, you can stick around. And Larry, tell us if you like this format, because I thought of it a while ago and decided to implement it now.
Yeah.
Because again, the coup has begun. This is a rogue podcast. Rule Third's rogue podcast.
Well, I do want to point out that there is something I don't want to spoil. It has to do with why this movie has such an affection for the action genre.
Then you know what? We'll save that point for later.
Yeah. So
let's start with let's start at the very beginning, which is a very good place to start. Shout out to Julie Andrews. Anyway, this kind of leads into the action set pieces element, because I was a little surprised and irked that the film opens with its big action set piece.
True, but
its wow moment.
But it also means it's kind of a hook, it's big. It's a big moment, and yes, that is. This is kind of spoiling it, though. It is kind of the biggest action beat, yes. But to me, that it also shows that they're it also puts on the message of what's established right now in the Mission Impossible universe. I mean,
for me, it was just kind of, I'd seen it in the trailer, and I'd even seen the trailer.
That's why I didn't see the trailer.
Because, see, I'd even seen it in theaters, and so it was kind of, I don't know, its most wow action moment didn't really wow me. I was more impressed with some of the smaller moments or cool stunts, more so than the set pieces, which for Mission Impossible is a little bit of a bummer. The first movie is all building up to that, the lowering down of Ethan, and he goes centimeters from the floor. It's all building up to that. And then, Ghost Protocol had the amazing climbing on the Dubai building.
Which is all actually horizontal, as a matter of fact, in the effects. Effects-wise, it was him climbing up horizontally. He was crawling.
No, he was there.
No, he wasn't. I looked this up, yeah.
I'm 100% positive he was filming in that building, because I've seen footage of it, of him filming on the building. Tom Cruise is hardcore.
Industrial Light Magic told me otherwise, but whatever.
Lies. Anyway, you might be thinking of Adam West Batman? I just remember that clip where, they're tugging on the rope, and there's strings behind their capes making it look like they're falling. Anyway. I said this was going to be a quick podcast, and then I go into Adam West Batman trivia.
Yeah,
so...
where do you do this?
Anyway, so so I guess one of my notes on kind of the disappointing is Mission Impossible is known for like building up to these moments that like define that movie.
Yes.
And this one started with it, and it was the punch was taken out of it a little bit for me. So I don't know.
See, I think that's actually that might be too much of an echo. See, I think that's actually kind of cool because instead it focuses more on individual action sequences. There are like 3 big ones that go on for a while, and they're all very well put together, very, very well executed, the best parts of the movie. And I think that's a nice change of pace. I don't know if I prefer it to the build-up to the big climax, but it feels like a new, fresh change of pace. And to a series with 5 installments at this point, it's a little bit nice to see something different. Do I prefer it? I don't know, but I do like this.
That's funny. See, this is why I like doing this podcast, because sometimes my thoughts aren't formed fully on a film, and this would be one of those cases, because we're just coming out of it. We're a little distracted also of what's coming up, and we'll get to that at the end of the podcast. But for me, it felt like a more standard action flick and less like a Mission Impossible, because it tried something new, but it was doing the standard. You know what? This movie reminded me a lot of Quantum of Solace, which I actually like a lot more than most people. So I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing, but Quantum of Solace didn't feel like a Bond movie as much as it should have. It just felt like an action movie. This doesn't feel like as much of a Mission Impossible movie as it should. There are moments it does, absolutely. Like, this was like, that was a Mission Impossible moment. Well done.
But that calls into question, should a sequel try and, like, do something new, or just stick to a formula that's always been established?
No, feeling like the franchise and sticking to a formula is not the same thing. There's a middle ground between doing something new and feeling like your franchise. Ghost Protocol did that. That was 4 movies in, and that was after a long break from the original 3. So yet it came back with Brad Bird came back. Shout out.
Yeah. Brad Bird. For the only live action movie he's done so far, that is awesome.
Weird. He doesn't do live action much. Anyway, okay, Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
that was
exactly,
I get it. I got it.
Anyway,
that was a jab at Tomorrowland. What was I saying? Right. I think Ghost Protocol did a great job of feeling like a Mission Impossible, but also mixing up the formula and doing something different.
Yeah, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was much more focused on gadgetry and stuff, while this felt more classical. Can I talk about that?
See, I will say classical does sound like a really fancy way of saying standard.
No. This feels... All right, now...
I wish you could hear. I put my hands up and backed away from the microphone. I'm backing away.
You're not going to drop the pen, though, because you wouldn't drop the mic.
Drop the pen. Continue.
You damaged your laptop. Okay, anyway. By classical, I mean this movie feels like an 80s movie. But I don't mean an 80s movie that has Ethan Hunt is the super buff guy shooting up a bunch of guys. That's not how this thing works. It's in its colorization, in its dialogue, in its plot progression. It all feels very much like one of the better 80s action movies from the early 80s. And of course Mission Impossible started in the 90s, but this feels a lot more like not like an 80s homage, but just in its structure, it just feels very naturally 80s. It's kind of like it's like a very, very well tuned up relic that isn't actually a relic from the 80s. You know what I'm talking about? Like when somebody designs something that looks very 80s, but it's actually not. It's
okay,
yeah. See, it's kind of like that, and I
I just didn't get that. I didn't get any vibe from this movie in terms of that's this movie, and that's kind of part of the problem. I didn't. Again, I kind of got the Mission Impossible vibe, but not all the time. So I'm a little bummed about that. But is that good for action? Actually, I like that.
No, that's not good for action. I want some of the best part of the action.
Until spoilers.
All right, yeah, fine.
Okay. If it's a spoiler, is it?
Yes, it is, because I don't want people to know what makes it so awesome. Because I don't know if that was spoiling the trailers. Because I have not seen anything from this movie. I just never got a chance to see any of the trailers. So I went into this movie blind.
Here, we'll cut this out. What's your point?
It's that there's no music and that there's sound.
Oh yeah, okay. That's solid to keep hidden. So we'll save it. So I guess maybe characters really quick. That's a good general statement.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, for me, it kind of Tom Cruise always kind of feels like Tom Cruise.
How is he 52?
I don't know, man. He is in ridiculously
good
shape.
41.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, not that specific, but he looks a lot younger than he is.
Yeah. Wow, I just swallowed. Weird. Take over, Max, as I die. Okay, you didn't take over, but I'm back.
No, I didn't.
You did not accept this mission.
No, I didn't.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is keep the audience entertained as I die.
I can't do that.
You failed.
You guys know that.
I'm in a weird mood. Sorry. So with characters, for me, Ethan Hunt is a fine character, but he's one of those characters that, like, he's pretty just kind of there.
Yeah, they really tried to add characterization to him, and they tried to describe him in so many ways, and really he's just kind of cool guy.
See, that's something that I think this movie, it was kind of trying to do, like this, you know, you have to win, why can't you just let it go, and all that, like, and that's fair. This is a character that's, you know, done insane things.
Which is where the meta commentary about the movie comes in, like, why can't you just let this franchise go, you know? Because the only thing that makes Mission Impossible is Ethan Hunt.
Or just the IMF.
Yeah. Which they tried to destroy, and then, yeah.
Maybe there's some truth to that. Anyway, so I guess, like, it was a good enough theme, but it wasn't, like, fully fleshed out. Like, his arch nemesis never really felt like... What was his name?
Solomon.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just calling Mr. White. But it's fine to say that.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff is fine. Like, Mr. White in the Bond movies. Like, Bond's, like, nemesis, like, more direct. And so it just kind of felt... I don't know. It just... I feel like they were trying...
character-driven, even though it emphasizes a lot on the characters.
They were trying to portray Ethan in this new way and tried to give him an adversary that's just like him, or like an equal match finally. Mm-hmm. I got very much a Sherlock and Moriarty vibe.
Yeah.
But they didn't pull it off. You know, I shouldn't say I got that vibe. I got the feeling like they were trying for that. It didn't quite work, though.
Yeah.
But the fact that I got it, like, I understood, like, oh, they're setting, like, antithesis of each other. Like, it worked. It was okay. And, you know, it's a better dynamic than I must stop him from ending world. You know, so I'll give credit there, but I don't think it worked as fully. Simon Pegg, delightful.
Yeah, absolutely.
As always.
Yeah, he was wonderful. Absolutely funny. I'm so glad they brought him on board for 4. Wait, was he in 3? I forget.
Yes.
Okay.
Briefly in 3, if I remember.
I'm so glad that he's in these movies because he brings humor that's not, like, super, like, predictable and like, it's not just the writing, it's also his delivery, and just Simon Pegg is a comedic treasure, so it was really good. Yeah, that's why I'm excited for Star Trek Beyond, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, if anything else, the humor will probably be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a great character, and I like what they did with his character in a lot of different ways. Like how they used him, like, to really explore how he feels about Ethan, because it's never really defined. It's like, is he a sidekick? Like, is he a partner? That's kind of explored in a bit. Not as much as I'd like it to be, but it is anyway.
I don't know. So I would say I don't know why I like Jeremy Renner so much, but I do. He has some good moments. He just delivers well. I couldn't tell you much about the character.
I don't know. I was not entirely like whatever.
I don't know why. I really like Jeremy Renner, so I thought he was good in this. He was fine, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can't tell you anything about these characters.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if they felt very like they were in pieces that have been like in the same places as other pieces in time.
They're like, so functional. And that's kind of the extent of the characters in this film.
Yeah, and we never give a reason to, like, not believe what Ethan's saying. Like, we're always on his side, because one of the big things that the criminal organization, the Syndicate, is called into question as to whether or not it exists.
Which would have been a way more interesting story if the audience didn't know. And what if it turned out there was no Syndicate?
Yeah.
And he's been chasing this ghost because it's something to do? Like, that would have been a very interesting movie. Yeah. So, I don't know. But the characters I felt were totally functional, and Simon Pegg is delightful. But
and I enjoyed Alec Baldwin's character.
Yeah, and I kind of want to specifically like Ilsa, because she was actually my favorite character in the film.
Yeah, she was great. I really enjoyed her.
I was worried that she was like, I mean, pretty like cut and dry. Just what's the word?
What
in film noir? The
broad, the dame, the femme fatale.
Yes, the femme fatale. But she wasn't. It became kind of the character sick of being used. Like, okay, she's awesome at this spy stuff, and she's been giving tons of years of her life to infiltrate all that. She's done all this stuff, and then, like, you know, she's getting kind of glanced over, and, like, people don't care about what happens to her, and, like, the frustration of being caught up in the system.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't tell you too much more about the character, but I'd like kind of that thing explored through her. That was a new element, because, yeah, the IMF has always kind of, like, just kind of done their thing unquestioning, because it's always been like super evil guy, and in this case it is just kind of evil guy. But that should be brought up. Like, do they care if Ethan Hunt dies?
Yeah, because Ethan Hunt is kind of just like a vessel of an action hero.
Right. It's even in the speech.
Yeah.
If any of your team are caught or killed, we'll just ignore you and pretend you don't exist.
Yeah.
So, like, it was good it was brought up. Not fully explored. It could have been the point of the whole movie. That would have been better, but it was there, particular in Ilsa's character.
Yeah. Can I talk about writing now?
Yes. Let's go to writing.
Okay, so for the most part, Rogue Nation is well written. I mean, I think it's got, not only is the humor great, but like its delivery of exposition is functional. I don't, you know how I feel about exposition.
Right, but that's weird because I would just want to interject and say there was a little bit too much of the exposition. Like, multiple times they repeat like what the heist is, and so Simon Pegg would be like, and remember, if you don't have this open by then, I'm dead. And they'll have like a character saying, "We get it." It's like, well, that doesn't excuse that you've been repeating this exposition over and over.
Yeah.
And there was one scene in the house, and like it was just like the entire plan laid out. And like, here's why we can't do this.
Oh,
and, this went to this. It was a little bit of a like
kind of like in Shaun of the Dead when they're like, then we'll get back home and we'll have a beer and we'll.
But that was faster and comedic. This was just like, here's what the climax is gonna be.
It feels very Mission Impossible though.
That part did.
Yeah,
but I don't think in the good way.
But sticking to kind of the tired tropes of a franchise is not how you make a franchise feel.
And I don't think they're tired tropes. I just think they're like a necessary evil of the franchise. You got to outline what's going to happen. Like, that's the thing about Nolan's exposition. Why I find it justifiable is because he always like. The payoff is there. The first half of Inception has so much, exposition, but that's because the back half needs to move so fast.
Yeah.
So in this case, they needed to set up the big heist, so it was okay, but it was a bit much, and the whole movie had a lot of exposition.
Okay, but I will say this: so it was well written. When we get to the third act, though, things get weird. Now, you heard me when I said that it kind of feels like an '80s movie. And I mean that sometimes in a bad way, in that some of the dialogue feels ripped from like a parody of an action movie that you see in another movie.
Such as?
I can only do this... Wait. Sorry, my voice cracked. I'm only doing this because I have no choice.
Yeah.
Or when the main character comes... Like, there's kind of a spoiler. The main character makes Ethan Hunt makes a dramatic reveal, and the other character goes, Hunt! Like, it's so cheesy, and it feels out of place, and there's a lot of that in the third act specifically. I don't know what happened, but it's like these writers, like, always had a dream of writing that line because they had grown up, watching movies with that, and they just incorporated it into this one, and it feels so strange. Like, a whole speech about what Ethan Hunt is, he's like...
Just kind of there.
Yeah, it's just like, Ethan Hunt is the manifestation of destiny.
That's a legitimate line. It's like, hey, should we, like... say what the character is.
Well, yeah. And I mean, hey, I would say Nolan does do that too. But in this case, it was a lot more...
When was it that blatant? It's never like that up front. I was probably just
Interstellar.
When?
When he's... When...
you were trying to do something? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay,
whatever.
Exactly. But whatever. The point is, it felt a lot more out of place here than it did in Interstellar or other Nolan vehicles. And I think it's just because it felt so off compared to the rest of the piece. Now... There's not a lot... this might be a spoiler. There's not a lot spoken in the first two acts of the movie. But the third act most certainly does. And I will say it feels very cheesy in a way that's not charming.
That's a good transition, I think, to story. Yeah. And we won't do spoilers in this section, but I did want to talk about, like... My basic thought of the story. I thought this was going to end way before it did. I think this movie... It felt long to me. Like, there were a lot of, like, it just, oh my god, now this next step, and there's another chase, and it just kind of, like, I don't know, it felt a little out of hand. The third, it's a bit formless, the ending, where it's, like, keeps going, and part of this goes back to my problem of it not really feeling like a Mission Impossible film. It's kind of all build up to one goal, and I think that's a key part of it, because you're, like, mentally preparing, as a character preparing to, like, witness this awesome... trickery and pull off, and usually what happens is problem occurs, they try to solve the problem, doesn't work, they have this one shot to solve the problem, they kind of do it, but something goes wrong, so they have to like improvise and do that. So it's like, Ghost Protocol, they pull off the heist in the building, the hotel and all that, but then he gets the suitcase anyway, Hunt has to chase him down and stop the nuclear launch, all that. This movie, the ending just keeps building layers, like suddenly this happens, and then this, and now Ethan has to do this, and it's not only that it didn't feel Mission Impossible, it felt a bit convoluted.
Yeah, like, this movie's all about betrayals, and, like, one of the characters is a literal triple agent.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
And I like that, and I think that was a good part of the story, but, like, it can get a little bit like, who's working for who, and what's going on here, and I think that's the point. I think the whole point of the story is to demonstrate that, as it's pointed out later on, this is all just games. Like, there's always going to be this kind of conflict, and
Right.
it doesn't actually matter. And speaking thematically, they don't actually address like the point of that. They just kind of state it in the dialogue, and then they just never really come back to it. It's kind of like a Bioshock Infinite thing. It's like there's always going to be an Ethan Hunt. There's always going to be a Solomon. There's always going to be an IMF.
Yeah, see, I liked that theme too, where it's like, we don't have to do this.
Yeah. Just like you said, you can be easily replaced, and that's kind of the whole point of Hunt's character.
But you know what? I'll give the movie plus. The same character, Ilsa, and I won't forget her name, but we'll get to why. Kind of counts as spoilers because of the location. Anyway, it comes back with Ilsa because she has that dark side of being like expendable / not important as a person to the overall mission and goal because she's expendable, and she says they don't care if we live or die, we're being used and all that. But then she brings up the positive side. This, you know what? This is spoiler.
Yeah,
I just realized
should
this
we
is
just jump into spoiler territory right now?
Do you have anything else not spoiler?
No, because the action, there is a spoiler part of the action that's not actually
All right.
a spoiler.
Sorry, this is now spoilers. Sorry for the short notice.
We're in spoiler territory, but
Yes.
but remember, keep our opinions in mind from before.
Yes.
Anyway, spoiler time.
So let me just continue my sentence. Now, spoiler. She offers Ethan a chance out. Mm-hmm. They just leave.
Come away with me.
Yeah, the line is a bit much, but
oh my god,
the sentiment was good because they don't care that it's Ethan Hunt. They just need a guy, and he says it doesn't have to be us, us as people, because there's always going to be someone there to do this.
Yeah, I mean, really, Mission Impossible. I've said that there is some meta commentary there. I think this is full on meta commentary. I think Rogue Nation is entirely about the Mission Impossible franchise trying to justify its own existence.
I don't.
I think it's totally about.
I don't think this is a movie about. I don't think this movie really is about anything. It's kind of mixed. Like
I think it's about betrayal and how everything is just easily expendable. How everybody's expendable. Ant-Man, they have the whole speech about, oh man, I'm expendable. That's what this whole thing is about.
I mean, maybe, but
I don't think it's maybe. I think it totally is. Like that's what they went for. And unlike the last movie we reviewed, I think it's totally like shown and whatnot, and has an actual intention.
Okay, fine. I'll get maybe when you say it that way. Yeah, okay, that could be intention. I just don't think it was executed that well. It didn't say much about it.
I guess it didn't have a conclusion. It didn't.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like
happened,
it doesn't have
and then it's like addressed, but it's like there's no payoff.
It might even back up on it because it kind of does come down to mano a mano, and Ethan alone is able to do it. So maybe it did kind of.
Yeah, I will agree. It's yeah, it's weird because I keep talking about this movie like it's only kind of decent when in reality, the big thing I want to talk about is an actual spoiler because, yeah. Can we get to that, or do you have anything else to say about the story? Because I think it was well paced, it went at a good pace, I think it ended at the right time, actually, I disagree.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know, I think it just, again, if everything felt a little bit slower paced than last time, which again, very gadgety, very present day, while this felt very much like from 30 years ago, but I didn't mind that. I think it actually went at its own very unique kind of pace because of the story's being built around these three particular set pieces.
Yeah, I guess now that we're in spoilers, I can just list where it's like at the end it's the Prime Minister, and now he has to go save Benji with the bomb, right? And then there's fooling them, and then there's meeting with Benji and Ilsa, and now there's a chasing with his goons, and now it's a mano a mano trickery. Like the ending just kept going, and it kind of
I've heard that complaint before, but this movie it's like 15 minutes too long, but. I would disagree, but I understand where people are coming from. So I'm not going to defend it passionately. I'm like, yeah. And trust me, I'm the guy among the two of us who had his bladder about to explode and was waiting for this movie to end.
Oh, and you sat through the credits anyway because you're weird. What was the thing you wanted? Okay, I'm curious. You're holding something about the action.
Yeah.
That you say is a spoiler. I'm very curious. So go ahead and explain what you mean.
Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation is one of those movies that was made by people who love the action genre because of the action. Because Mission Impossible, the first two acts of Rogue Nation does not feature all that much dialogue. It really doesn't. And this is because the action set pieces have barely any dialogue and, more importantly, music. The three are, I guess, non-diegetic music, which is music that you...
Right.
What?
I'm saying right, because...
Yeah. Non-diegetic basically means that music that you hear that the characters can't hear. It's a non-contextual, like a soundtrack, a score.
Yeah.
So... the score is completely removed from these action scenes. The opera set piece, the underwater set piece, and the motorcycle chase. Which, no, that has a little bit of music in there. But
yeah, it did.
For the most part, the first two has either diegetic music or no music at all. And it's a movie that was made by people who love sound, who love, why audio enriches an experience. And it really made for a much more diverse and much fresher take on action than a lot of movies I've seen this year and perhaps even last year. Like, the action scenes were not only well choreographed, maybe a little bit too fast in the editing.
Yeah, for me, the action was okay, but there were a lot of moments where I just, like, I couldn't follow. And, like, it was a little too, like, shaky or quick cut. Yeah. It felt a little rushed, the action.
I think, let's see, the set piece where he's underwater and, like, he's taken under, it's like, whoa. There was, like, no music. Like, you normally hear, like, an accent of, like, when he gets hit, there's, like, like, something, you know.
Yeah, that was effective. Yeah, it was effective.
Instead, it was just, like, the guy's like, whoa, what's going on? You remember that. You heard people in the audience going, like, whoa.
I saw you reacting. It was really annoying.
Whatever, I do that. Shut up.
I know.
But I really liked that. I enjoyed the action because it felt so, like, it was so visceral based on levels that the movie wasn't trying to shove down our throats. I mean, I love a good score. You know, you guys know that. I love a good score.
Yeah, more than me.
Silence is golden. And in this case, the lack of music can be absolutely golden. Man, horror movies could take from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation good advice.
I would agree, yeah.
Seriously, like, it's just a movie that loves the action genre because it's willing to let the action just be the action. And, like, and as a result, I highly recommend that you go see this movie in a theater. Do not watch this at home, you watch this in a theater, because that experience you can't get anywhere else.
See, that's what's funny. For me, I disagree. I think the action genre exists to have really impressive and epic manifestations of basic drama. And that's why I like superhero movies the most, because, like I've always said, superhero movies are great because you give characters the ability to shoot lasers out of their eyes.
Yeah.
Whatever a character wants to do and their wants and desires and all that, all the essence of a character, well, now they get to accomplish those goals with laser eyes. So that's why superhero movies are interesting. So I would disagree in the sense that this is a great film because it focuses, like, action for action's sake. I don't like action for action's sake.
I mean, action just to have the action stand on its own 2 feet, as opposed to being, reinforced by music or dialogue. It's just
in that
action.
sense, I think it felt odd. The opera scene I liked, though, it did remind me of the superior Quantum of Solace sequence, actually, at the opera.
I don't remember anything from Quantum of Solace.
Well, that's the one really great sequence. It's at the opera. Bond is looking for Mr. White, and the music's playing so epic, and then there's a chase scene to, like, the silence, and the crowd applauds. And it's a good sequence. But if it was odd, but I liked it, and I liked the underwater sequence more, where it was like, it sounded like underwater, and so you felt like you were trapped down there.
And if I may, the sequence after that is both confusing and very fascinating. Do you remember this? When Ethan Hunt is thrown out, he acts very strange. And you never really figure out what that is.
Yeah, what was up with that? Like, they were going to go full amnesia?
And then they just, like, had him just, like, really disoriented.
Yeah, that was
And I really liked that. I really thought that was, like, interesting because...
I thought it was confusing, not interesting.
I don't think it was executed completely well because he still was able to do all these really awesome things, even though he was thoroughly disoriented and dead for, like, a minute.
See, and that could have played on the theme. If you, like, reset Ethan Hunt and he was still, like, doing all these things, maybe channel some Jason Bourne.
In reverse.
Kind of. But maybe channel some Jason Bourne. Ethan Hunt does lose his memory for a while, and so it's like the base Ethan Hunt still knows how to do all these things, and it is just him that can pull it off. I don't know. I'm rambling, but...
I can understand that. I don't know why I was totally down with that. I don't think it was executed all that well. I think they could have done a lot more with it, but... Yeah. I really enjoyed just that little moment of, like, Ethan not being totally there. Because if there's one thing that he is all the time, it's there. I mean, he could be just... I mean, did they ever have Tom Cruise in the Expendables movies?
No.
Exactly.
They should.
Exactly. Like, he was... I think it's also because he was, like, the face of 90s action heroes.
Right, not 80s and stuff. Yeah. Like, he's a little too
they put Jason Statham in there, and he's, like, a 2000s action hero.
Right. I think that's kind of the point, though. It was like, there's the one... I don't know. Okay, those movies... 2 is the only good one.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is I just... The things that this movie does that are not, like, conventional, I really enjoy. And I don't enjoy them purely because they were non-conventional. I enjoy them because they were, I think, very well executed. I don't know. Again, a lot of this movie is problematic, but the things that work, I think, work really well.
Okay, well, I want to briefly address the ending. It felt a little unsatisfactory.
It felt like the end of an episode instead of the end of, like,
it just kind of ended.
And at the same time, it felt like some of this movie is a retread of Ghost Protocol, where it's like IMF is called into question and, like, you know, whether its existence, and IMF kind of shuts down for a while, but then it comes back and it's like, you know, and even though, like, the whole reveal thing of him dramatically taking off the mask, that was cool, I think maybe IMF should have stayed dead. There was some really... Oh, also, I was like, really cool visual, like, cues, like people standing around somebody. Remember this? Like, there was, you know, he was over here, he was over here.
Oh, when they trapped...
Yeah, and then they also trapped him. It was the same idea. not much thematically, but it was still like there were some cool
that was a really
visual
cool
cues.
visual.
And good cinematography. Good. I don't know if it's great, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, there were some really good shots.
Yeah.
Too bad we forgot to mention that in the spoiler-free part.
Whatever.
What do people care about cinematography anyway? So do you
Shout
have any
out
more
to
thoughts?
cinematographers out there.
Oh, I love cinematography. Seriously. That was a joke. I love it. Do you have anything else? Because, I think...
music was good.
Yeah, music was solid. A little bit felt a little too, generic action-y. But it worked.
So, yeah, I would say, I think maybe the part of the story that I don't like is just that it's just kind of perfunctory. Like, the ending kind of makes everything like, oh, okay, well, it happened again. We're at the exact same place that we were beforehand.
And I've seen a lot of critics praise that for, see, this is a self-contained franchise where it's standalone movies. But for me, it's that can also backfire in this sense where, I don't know if much was accomplished.
Yeah, I want to feel like I walked out of the movie with, thinking, oh, now the thing is impacted. Yeah. Ghost Protocol did that, and it did well. But...
And people have brought up that Rogue Nation looks a lot like Spectre in the basic story, where there's secret organization that's behind a bunch that's the opposite of the spy. The spy's uncovering it, and there's their arch enemy. But I guarantee the Spectre's going to have things moving forward because there are actually rumors that Spectre and the next movie are linked.
That was supposed to be Bond 22 and 23, I think. They were supposed to be...
Right. So pretty much like Quantum of Solace is direct follow-up to Casino Royale, apparently Bond 25 is a direct follow-up to Spectre. And so in Spectre's case, I think what they're going to do is keep that going. The stakes are going to continue. I don't think Christoph Waltz is going to be axed off. I think he's going to make it. And I think he's going to be the villain for the next film.
Okay, let's not turn this into Spectre speculation.
But my point is, I think, and I guess I don't know, again, I don't know, I think it's going to feel more substantial because they embrace a little bit of the franchise. A little bit of the franchise element. Where you can leave stuff open, you can bring stuff back. And they brought back some characters, fan favorites. And
I do wonder if the director has a J.J. Abrams complex where he either has never been a fan of or doesn't particularly like the franchise whose adaptation he is directing. That's what I call it, the J.J. Abrams complex. Just because he wasn't a Star Trek guy. He just did it because he wanted to take a risk, and they were like, okay, and then it turned out to be But yeah, exactly.
And he loves Star Wars, so you cannot call that on him.
Exactly, but I just Abrams complex could be a bunch of things. But
anyway,
final
thoughts. Should we just wrap up?
Again, I don't know why. I feel like I might be letting this movie off a little bit too easy, but I don't mean that.
I agree.
I really did enjoy this movie. I was watching. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
I noticed you were responding more.
Maybe on superlative, very surface level, things. But
honestly,
overall, my enjoyment of this movie was very high. It was just the stupid, cliched dialogue that just at the end that really kind of bogged it down for me.
And honestly, this is the kind of movie to be enjoyed that way.
Yeah.
And so that's fair. And again, it's 6.5. I'm not super negative, and I did enjoy it. I'm glad I saw it. I don't think I'll see it again though. I'm not rushing out. Eventually I'll probably rewatch it, but I'm not rushing out to see it again. So, just to restate my thoughts, I think it felt a little too generic action film for me. It didn't quite have the structure it should have. Characters are fine, but nothing memorable. The writing has a little bit too much exposition. Action was okay. I'm all kind of just in the middle, so I hope this review doesn't come up boring for me, because I am kind of in the middle. Max is the one making the actual points, so you got that taken care of.
Sure.
So again, I did a 6.5, and you did...
8.
So, there you go.
Really, I think we'll call it a 7.75, but we're not going to go there.
Okay.
So I would still round it out to 8.
Okay.
Yeah. I would suggest you go check this movie out. I was not... I have very little opinion on the Mission Impossible franchise. I've seen everything. I've seen all of them, but I don't know. I wouldn't say this is better or worse than Ghost Protocol. I think they're actually two completely different movies.
Yeah, I think Ghost Protocol is better, though.
I want to say yes, too. I was like...
In my head, it's more memorable.
Yeah, I think it's more memorable for me, too.
Because I remember more of Ghost Protocol. I saw Rogue Nation a few hours ago.
True. Listen, nothing's going to beat the Kremlin crumbling.
Oh, that was really intense.
Or, the part where he puts the projector on, makes a hologram. Listen, that kind of stuff, that's iconic. This movie is not as iconic, but I don't think it's a detriment. I think it's just...
I say it is. So I would say it's not an icon, but it is satisfactory and functioning, and that's worth something. Again, I don't want to, it's not a bad film. So
we haven't disagreed in a long time, Sean.
We still don't have, a giant disagreement.
Yeah, we still haven't yet.
So now it's time to throw it on over to Max for the Fantasy Movie League. Take it away.
All right, Sean. Well, what we've learned this week is that as far as Rule Third's families go, the apple can fall very, very, very far from the tree. So
that was mean. That was a positive thing. If I was hosting, I would have said, congratulations to my loving mother.
No.
But no, you had to turn it to an insult to me, I see.
We begin at the bottom with, well, the Unisys Playhouse, but he wasn't participating this week, so the bottom with Citizens of the World Cinemas. Sean, what happened? Anything?
Well, what happened was... Actually, I don't know. Let me check. What did I put down? Let me check what happened exactly. I think I just... Yeah, I don't know. Vacation didn't do very well. Maybe that was it.
Yeah,
but that was only one spot. I don't know what happened. I just don't think I had good picks. Mm-hmm. I don't think there was one problem. I think it was just didn't handle it. Didn't do well. Eesh. Oh well.
All right. But then in number 5 we got a newcomer, and I don't know who this person is. So speak up if that is you.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, I'm not going to try and pronounce this. GAT the number 1 IN's movie fun times 8. I do not know who this person is, but I'd like to know, and I'd like to say that you did a pretty good job. You beat Sean your first week. That's very impressive. That's so impressive. All right. Next up is a wow finish from Sean's father. 128 million, not bad. Just a little bit above, with about 1.5 million up, is Larry's Movie Fun Time, as he still continues to participate. I don't know if we'll be seeing him again next week with this, but that's good. At number 2, it's Cinemax What Up with 133 million. But then, for the second time in a row, Lame Chick Flicks Art Cineplex with 136 million. This is incredibly impressive, considering she doesn't even have all of her slots filled out.
She didn't fill every.
Or not saved her, but what led her to this victory was 2 showings of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation and 3 showings of Mr. Holmes, which came with a bonus $2 million per screening, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why that was.
I believe each week they have like a special movie that if you put it in your screenings, you'll get an extra $2 million or something like that. I think it's something like that. So that's why it's very impressive. But overall in the season, I'm still on top. $1 billion 77 million.
Yeah, we both crossed a billion.
We all three of us.
All three of us have crossed a billion at the box office.
I have been leading this train the entire time. I don't even know how that's happening anymore. As far as everything else goes, it's like Lame Chick Flicks Art. It's kind of like, see, the whole season thing is kind of messed up because we all started at the beginning and then more people caught on. So it's kind of an unfair advantage. But I'll still say...
but soon we're going to hit the next season and everything will be reset.
Among the three of us, I am on top. We might as well just say it. Max Mariner wins the summer season. All right.
Okay.
So, Sean...
It's not over yet.
Okay. So, Sean, tell me, what are you up to with... this week, this upcoming week?
My picks are... I kind of went with the strategy of just a decent spread. There are a ton of movies, and so prices were a little low. So I think I did a good spread. I've got Fantastic Four. Only one. I could have kind of gone if I had a lot of faith in it, I would have put it in 2 screens because you can, it's possible. It just take a lot of money, but I don't know. Reviews aren't great. I just I don't know. So I put it in 1. I got Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I think it's going to hold okay. I got Ricky and the Flash. Meryl Streep's going to draw a crowd, and then I decided to do 2 Shaun the Sheep movies. Because I think the kid audience is going to be behind it.
Marvel Animation is not known for its hits, though, just to let you know.
Really? I feel like...
no, listen.
what is it? Curse of the Were-Rabbit did well.
Curse of the Were-Rabbit is very good, and also...
And this is a Wallace and Gromit character, by the way, if people don't know.
Wait, is it? Is Shaun the Sheep really
Yeah, Shaun the Sheep is from one of the shorts, A Close Shave.
Oh, wow.
And there's a reference to that in the awesome...
Yeah.
In the awesome poster for Shaun the Sheep movie, that's a parody of the Spectre poster, which I love. He's, instead of a gun, because he's holding a pair of clippers as a reference to A Close Shave.
That's great.
Yeah, and so I have 2 Shaun the Sheeps. I have Ant-Man. I have The Gift, which I'm very excited to see, and I'm very happy it's getting good reviews because I was interested in the film, but it looked like, if it was played too melodramatic and over the top, like it would be pretty bad. But apparently it's really good, so I'm definitely going to try to see that. And then 1, Mr. Holmes, because I was a big fan of that film, and I actually have a poster from the movie theater. I brought it back home, so that's me. Those are my picks.
Oh, my picks are actually very simple. 1 Trainwreck, 4 Ant-Mans, and 3 Rogue Nations. We got an alliance of nations over here.
I just realized, why is it called Rogue Nation? They're just kind of like a group.
It's
it's the idea
it's the syndicate.
But are they from a bunch of different nations?
I mean, a bunch of different parts of a nation put together, I guess, is a rogue. I don't know.
But I think you have to you know what? We'll talk geopolitics later.
Because that's what everybody
Next time on Rural Thirds.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think Fantastic Four is going to do very well this weekend. Maybe it might make number one, but as I've been seeing from FML, more and more, I'm noticing a trend of a lot of movies in second place getting a bunch of those screenings, or third place or fourth place just gaining the most amount of cash. So that's what I'm going to go with Mission Impossible. I think it'll do pretty well in its second week. But yeah, that's our picks. Back to you, Sean.
Okay, yeah, I guess now it's just time to wrap up.
But Sean, okay, we should get out of here.
Yeah, we should. Anyway, what should we do tomorrow, Max?
Let's see. I'm leaving LA on Saturday, August 1st. So I'm thinking I might go to Universal or maybe Warner Bros. Studio Tour.
I already did that. Yeah.
Wait, what if I went to Disneyland? Like, would that be cool? I think I should go to Disneyland. You want to come? You want to come to Disneyland? I mean, I don't know.
God, no.
All right.
What a terrible idea, Max.
There are a lot of lines.
Never in a million years would I go to Disneyland tomorrow at 8 a.m. to midnight.
Yeah, I just don't know why you would do such a thing.
I would never do that.
I mean, what losers do that? I mean, especially
what losers have a planner website that plans out their entire day, Max?
Hey, Ride Max. Okay, you can kind of tell what's going to happen tomorrow. And you can kind of tell what's next time. Hey, guys, just so you know, thank you for staying this long through the podcast. If it feels a little bit rushed or whatever, it's because we're tired.
And it's 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, and we're very excited.
And we're going to be up at like 5.
Yeah.
Probably time to turn in for the night and actually get some sleep before going to Disneyland.
He's actually putting his glasses down like he's about to go to bed.
I was just dramatically taking off the glasses.
This is not a drill, folks. All right, guys. But until next time...
Hey, I'm the host.
All right.
Until next time, it's my line. It's my 3 words. Okay. Until next time, my name is Sean.
My name is Max.
And Larry's not here, right? That silence you hear is Larry not here. And this has been a very special and quick and scatterbrained, I'm sorry, I'm so tired, Rural Thirds podcast. So thanks for listening, and you'll hear us later.
I'm going to Disneyland.
Going to Disneyland.